Ever felt like you're drowning in debt and don't know how to swim out? It's a feeling too many of us know all too well. The weight of bills, credit card statements, loans, it can all feel like a sinking ship. But here's the thing, there are lifeboats available. There are strategies, tips, and resources that can help you navigate these choppy financial waters. Our goal today is to throw you that lifeline, to provide you with a clear and practical guide on how to conquer debt. We'll delve into understanding your debt, creating a budget, exploring debt repayment strategies, building an emergency fund, and most importantly, how to stay out of debt once you've made it to dry land. This isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving, about gaining financial freedom and the peace of mind that comes with it. So, are you ready? Dive in with me as we unravel the strategies for financial freedom. The first step to conquering debt is to understand it. So let's dive into the details. Understanding your debt isn't about feeling overwhelmed or defeated. It's about taking control, gaining clarity, and setting the stage for financial freedom. It's about knowing not just how much you owe, but also who you owe, what interest rates you're dealing with, and the size of your monthly payments. It's these details that will help you craft a strategy to conquer your debt. Think about it this way. If you were planning a road trip, you wouldn't just jump in the car and start driving, right? You'd want to know your destination, the distance you have to travel, the condition of the roads, and how much gas you'll need. In much the same way, understanding your debt is about mapping out your financial journey. So let's start by discussing the different types of debt. First, there's credit card debt. This is often high-interest debt that can quickly spiral if not managed correctly. Then you have student loans. These can be substantial, but often come with lower interest rates and flexible repayment options. Mortgages, on the other hand, are long-term loans used to purchase property. While these loans can be large, they're typically offset by the value of the property you own. While these are the most common types, there are other forms of debt as well. You might have a car loan, a personal loan, or maybe even medical debt. Each one comes with its own set of terms, interest rates, and payment schedules. Once you've identified all your debts, it's time to get the specifics. Write down the total amount you owe for each, the interest rates, and the minimum monthly payments. This will give you a clear picture of what you're dealing with. Remember, knowledge is power. When it comes to conquering debt, the more you know, the better equipped you'll be to tackle it head on, and with the right strategy, you can turn that mountain of debt into a molehill. Knowing what you owe gives you the power to create a plan. So, let's get ready to take control of your financial future. Now it's time to put your money in order. Let's dive into the nitty-gritty of creating a budget. This might sound a bit daunting, but trust me, it's as essential as a roadmap on a long journey. A budget gives you control over your finances, helps you save, and most importantly, keeps you out of debt. So where do we start? First, it's crucial to understand your income and expenses. Your income is not just your paycheck. It could include any additional earnings like side hustles, dividends, or even your grandma's birthday cash. Every penny counts. Next, we dive into expenses. It's important to categorize your expenses into two buckets: needs and wants. Needs are your non-negotiables. These are your housing costs, groceries, utilities, and any debt repayments. Wants, on the other hand, are non-essentials like dining out, your Netflix subscription, or those new shoes you've been eyeing. Once we've categorized, it's time to scrutinize and adjust. Are you spending too much on wants? You might have to cut back. Remember, this doesn't mean eliminating all fun from your life, it's about finding a balance. For instance, instead of dining out multiple times a week, how about trying out new recipes at home? Or rather than subscribing to multiple streaming services, why not choose one that you use the most? Adjusting your spending habits can be challenging, but it's a crucial step towards financial freedom. Plus, you'll discover that there's a certain thrill in finding creative ways to save money. Lastly, remember to review your budget regularly. Your financial situation can change, and your budget should adapt accordingly. If you've received a raise or paid off a debt, adjust your budget to reflect this. In essence, budgeting is less about restriction and more about understanding your financial habits. It's about making informed decisions so you're in control, not your money. A budget isn't about restricting what you spend, it's about making your money work for you. So, let's get started on creating that budget today. With a budget in place, you can now tackle your debt. That's right, my fellow financial freedom fighters, it's time to roll up those sleeves, sharpen those pencils, and dive into the world of debt repayment strategies. First up is the snowball method. Imagine a tiny snowball rolling down a hill. gradually growing larger as it picks up more snow. The snowball method works in a similar way. You start by focusing on your smallest debt, paying it off while making the minimum payments on your larger debts. Once that smallest debt is paid off, you roll the amount you were paying on it into the next smallest debt, and so on. This strategy can be incredibly rewarding, as it allows you to see progress quickly, keeping your motivation high. Next, we have the avalanche method. Unlike the snowball method, which targets the smallest debts first, the avalanche method focuses on the debts with the highest interest rates. You start by paying off the debt with the highest interest rate while making minimum payments on your other debts. Once that's paid off, you move on to the debt with the next highest interest rate. This method can save you more money in the long run because you're tackling those high-interest debts first. But what if you're juggling multiple debts and feeling a little overwhelmed? That's where debt consolidation comes into play. Debt consolidation involves taking out a new loan to pay off your existing debts. The goal is to secure a lower interest rate, a lower monthly payment, or both. It's a bit like swapping out a bunch of small, annoying mosquitoes for one big, slow-moving tortoise. Sure, you still have a debt to deal with, but it's a lot less frantic and a lot more manageable. Now, regardless of which strategy you choose, there's one golden rule you must always follow. Make consistent payments. Consistency is key in the battle against debt. Even if you can only afford the minimum payment, make sure you're paying something every month. It's not just about reducing your balance, it's about showing your creditors that you're serious about repayment. So, how do you choose the right strategy? Well, it's all about what works best for your unique situation. If you're someone who needs quick wins to stay motivated, the snowball method might be your best bet. If you're more concerned about saving money over the long term, the avalanche method could be the way to go. And if you're feeling overwhelmed by multiple debts, debt consolidation could provide the relief you need. Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all solution when it comes to debt repayment. What matters most is that you choose a strategy, stick with it, and keep chipping away at that debt, because every dollar you pay off is a step closer to financial freedom. Choose a strategy that suits your situation and stick with it. It's not just about getting out of debt. It's about building a future where you're in control of your money, not the other way around. Scene script. An emergency fund is your financial safety net. Picture this. You're walking a tightrope. Below you, there's a safety net. That's your emergency fund. It's there to catch you when you slip, stumble, or when life throws you a curveball you didn't see coming. But wait, you're not a circus performer, you're a person navigating through the highs and lows of life. So how does this apply to you? Well, let's consider your financial journey as walking on a tightrope. You're trying to balance your income, expenses, and debts, but sometimes unexpected events occur. Maybe your car breaks down, your refrigerator gives up, or you face a sudden health issue. These are the moments when you lose your balance, and having an emergency fund can break your fall, preventing you from plunging into the abyss of debt. So an emergency fund is essentially a buffer between you and financial uncertainty. It's a stash of money set aside to cover the financial surprises life throws your way. It's not about being pessimistic and expecting the worst, but about being prepared and secure. Now you might be wondering, how do I build an emergency fund? The answer is simple. Start small and start now. Prioritize saving a small portion of your income regularly, no matter how small it might be. The key is consistency. You might save just $5 a week, but over a year, that's $260 you didn't have before. You can also look for ways to increase your income or reduce your expenses. Maybe you can pick up a side gig, sell unwanted items, or cut back on non-essential spending. The important thing is to make building your emergency fund a priority. Remember, your emergency fund is your financial safety net. It's there to protect you from unexpected expenses and prevent future debt. It's not just about the money, it's about the peace of mind that comes from knowing you're prepared for whatever life throws your way. Remember, every little bit counts when it comes to saving for emergencies. Getting out of debt is one thing, staying out is another. We've all heard it before, but it's worth repeating. Habits shape our lives. And when it comes to financial freedom, cultivating the right habits can be the difference between sinking back into debt and sailing on a sea of financial security. First off, let's talk about living within our means. This isn't about denying ourselves life's pleasures. It's about understanding what we can afford and making decisions accordingly. This might mean opting for a picnic in the park over a fancy restaurant meal, or choosing a staycation over a lavish overseas trip. The key is to find joy and contentment in what we can comfortably afford, rather than stretching ourselves thin for what we can't. Next, saving for the future. We've all heard the phrase, save for a rainy day. But it's not just about having money set aside for emergencies, it's also about planning for our long-term goals, like buying a house, starting a family, or retiring comfortably. Regular, consistent saving can help us reach these goals without resorting to debt. Lastly, making informed financial decisions. This means doing our homework before making big purchases, investing in financial education, and staying up to date with financial news and trends. It's about understanding the implications of our financial decisions and making choices that align with our financial goals and values. Remember, these habits aren't about depriving ourselves, they're about empowering ourselves to make conscious, informed decisions about our money. They're about creating a life where we're in control of our finances rather than our finances controlling us. That's not to say it'll always be easy. There'll be temptations, setbacks, and challenges along the way. But by consistently practicing these habits, we can build financial resilience and navigate these challenges with confidence. Financial freedom isn't a destination, it's a journey. And like any journey, it's not just about where we're going but how we get there. So here's to making the journey one of empowerment, resilience, and sustainable financial health. Congratulations on taking the first step towards conquering your debt. As we wrap up, let's quickly recap. We've discussed understanding your debt, creating a budget, and implementing debt repayment strategies. We've also touched on the importance of building an emergency fund and maintaining discipline to stay out of debt. Remember, financial freedom isn't a lofty dream, it's a tangible reality, achievable with discipline and consistency. It may seem tough, but rest assured, every step you take is a step towards a debt-free life. Each of us has the power to change our financial narrative. It starts with taking ownership, making informed decisions, and persisting even when the going gets tough. And now, we're turning it over to you. Help us in our mission to spread financial literacy. Help others by liking, subscribing, commenting, and sharing this video. Remember, you're not alone in this journey.